Okay, so here we have lesson 1.5, which is on multiplying polynomials. So we learned in our last lesson that polynomials are defined as a sum of exponential expressions that have whole number powers. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to look at different types of polynomials, and we are going to multiply them together. Our essential question for today is for you to describe the process of multiplying polynomials. Now, if you feel like maybe I'm going through these videos a little bit too fast, remember that you can pause and write down at your own speed and then resume the video as necessary. So first I want to talk about vocab. Our first vocabulary term today is called monomial. And a monomial is a one-term polynomial, or one term. So a couple of examples of monomials could be the term 5x, 4xy, or negative 6x squared. So remember, we can have a coefficient on the monomial, but we're not adding or subtracting anything to it. So one term is strictly one term with nothing added or subtracted to it. So again, we can have that coefficient in front that's being multiplied to the variables, and that's still considered one term. Then we have something called a binomial, and it's the addition or subtraction of two terms. So a couple of examples of binomials could be 6x squared minus 5x. So we have two terms here, 6x squared and negative 5x. Or 4x minus 7. Again, we still have two terms there. That's 4x and negative 7. Then we have what's called a trinomial, and that is the addition or subtraction of three terms. A couple of examples of those, or just one, would be 5x squared plus 3x minus 9. So we have 5x squared, positive 3x, and negative 9 as the three different terms. So just a reminder that area is the space occupied by a flat shape. So we're going to look at some questions today with area. And just as a reminder, the formula for the area of a rectangle, you will multiply the length of the rectangle by the width of the rectangle. Now in some texts, you'll see this written as base times height. That's just simply the length and the width. So the two different measurements of a rectangle, you multiply them together to find the area. And then for a square, it's just side by side, side times side, which is still the length and the width of the square, but because it's a square, the side measures are the same. So just kind of keep in mind that with a square, you might only be given one of the dimensions because all four of the dimensions are going to be exactly the same. So side times side is the same thing as side to the second power, or side squared. And that is our vocab for this lesson.